Hello, my name's Dan, this is Cora, and we're here today to talk to you about CoraQuest!
Yes.
CoraQuest. Our game, our dungeon crawling game that Cora and I have been designing over lockdown. 5 months?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been about that now, a fair old time. And we designed the game initially, and we played it, didn't we, a few times?
Yeah.
And there were a few problems with it.
So we made it better.
So we made it better, yeah. We did a bit of playtesting, and this is about the things that we did during playtesting that made it better. So, the first thing we're going to talk about in this video is how the dungeon actually looks. Now, initially, we used these tiles, didn't we?
Yeah.
And they were all right, weren't they? But,
yeah.
But what did we find wrong with them?
They were a bit hard to make fit together if you got like just that, and you couldn't really put a story into them, things like that, really.
Yeah. And so we decided to go a slightly different way. And instead of these big tiles, we went for
little cards.
Little cards. So here's one. And then during the game, you draw a new card out and put it down. And the other thing we found about having these cards...
It's a lot easier to spawn the monsters because before we had a system of rolling dice that didn't really work, but this is a lot easier way of knowing which one you have to spawn and not taking that much time to do it. That's
right, yeah. We used to roll a dice to see what monsters would come out in the dungeon, and that was a bit complicated, not very...
It didn't actually work.
So one of the problems was it came out with very uneven dungeons and things like that, whereas this way we can control what cards are in the deck. And the other thing we can do is insert a story. So throughout this deck, there's all sorts of other cards like this one, this pile of sacks, and then...
Where Kevin and Naomi sat.
Where Kevin and Naomi sat, and a pit trap, and this is where the big bad snake monster appears. So each of these cards has a bit of a story attached to them, and throughout the deck we kind of split the deck into four, don't we?
Yeah.
Make sure they're in the right order, and then they come out periodically throughout the game, and then you read out a bit of text about what happens on that card.
Every time's at you.
This isn't a very good example of a dungeon because it is very messy.
Yeah.
It normally looks a lot nicer than that. So that's how the cards work. And do you feel it works better than it did before?
I think it really does, because it was a bit hard to put the story into the other ones, wasn't it?
It was.
We couldn't figure out how to place them, as you said.
So there you go. That's some of the stuff we've done to make the game better. So if you'd like to play the game, then you can now, because you can download it. The print and play things, with all these tiles and things like that.
On CoraQuest.com.
On CoraQuest.com. And you can also...
CoraQuest.com.
And you can also join our Facebook group. So search Facebook for CoraQuest, and you can join there. So come and join us, that'd be really good. But until next time, goodbye.
Goodbye.